Hey guys, Cindy over paper.old.new. Welcome back to my channel. I am back again and blessed to be here. I said, I guess you would have seen the haul video where I said I'd been remiss in not saying my thank yous. So I want to thank all my subscribers again, as usual. Anybody who has stopped in and thought about subscribing, I hope you'll come back and do so. Make sure you click the notification bell. Bless you for hanging in there with me. All right, I am going to do, this is going to be a pick a project video. And when I say pick a project, as you can see, the Apple Orchard Journal is out here. This is the calendar journal. We're going to be working on covers today. When I do pick a projects now, I think they're going to be, this is going to be the first time that I've worked on more than one project, meaning more than one journal in a pick a project. The project today is covers. So this needs a cover and this needs a cover. And this little prayer book that I have, it's a Jesus, Mary, and Joseph novena booklet with lots and lots of prayers in it, which I absolutely love. I found it in an antique shop. It was falling apart, so I am recovering it and rebinding it. And we're going to work on the cover for this today too. So I've missed it when I've gone to mass this week, and I haven't had it with me because I had it with me, and the cover is like an old, I don't know if that's an old vinyl or an old, but it's gotten so brittle that it just chipped because I was using it. So, and I turned my glue right side up, which I didn't want to do because I want to get, remember when we were using this stuff on a paintbrush? This is that fabric fuse glue, which I have discovered works really good for these covers. But you need to do it with a paintbrush. So, having said that, we're going to do, as you can see how much I have out here, we're going to do a couple of the covers that require this part. All together, and then we'll go back and like work on maybe decorating the covers or whatever. So basically all I do is brush this stuff on here, and then it's got a great, work time. So like it doesn't dry right away. You've got some time with it, which is nice. And it is a fabric glue. So it's also very liquidy. I don't know, liquidy. I always love that word. I always feel like I'm saying not words when I say that word. It's very thin, so it will come up through the fabric. But I feel like in a sheet like this, it does pretty good. So basically what I think I'll do, is just so I can see, is I'm going to put this down on here, like this. I'm just going to try and get it even all the way around. All right. And I was noticing when I did this that you can see the yellow through there, but with the green fabric, I don't know, it kind of it makes the white look cream colored to me. Maybe that's just my eyes playing tricks on me, I don't know. That's definitely a possibility. But yeah, so I actually started making a cover for this, this book, and for some reason I measured the height wrong. So I got it all made and I went to look at it on the book and it was too tall. And I was like, well, I like the cover that I made, so I guess I'll use it for something else, but I didn't want to take it apart. And I couldn't cut the height down. So, yeah. It's sitting in a drawer, awaiting its new destiny, I suppose. Okay. Get that all down there. All right. All right, so that's the front. Oops. So that's the front and back of those. I also want to do, this is the Apple Journal. Where's my rag? we're going to clean up a little bit here because this one's bigger, and I'm pretty sure I went over edges. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure. All right. So I did, this is the back cover of the Apple Journal. So I'll show you the front piece, and they are not the same. Like usually you would use, the fabric I chose for the front, I didn't have enough to do both panels. So I had to do some adjusting. But I put together a back panel that I really like. All right, I think that was just enough for those three. I don't think I'm going to use it for that one, so this is okay. All right, perfect. I am going to have to stop and go clean that out, though. All right. So, luckily I've got some time. And right now, it doesn't really matter. So you can see stitch lines. I sewed a piece of, basically I think it's curtain valance. See, like that, and it's a pocket. Now, of course, it's going to get smaller, so when we fold the ends around, it'll be like that, and it'll have a little pocket, and this was a curtain valance. Something of that nature, I think. I don't know. I just took it and sewed it from its end all the way around on the piece of fabric. So you can see the stitching probably better on this side. See, I just stitched it around its edges, and I just didn't go across this edge, and so it's on there like a pocket. And then when we go and glue these sides down, like that, it'll tighten that pocket up some, so whatever I put in there hopefully won't fall out. That would be not good, right? Okay. And yeah, and you have like a little pocket on the back cover. The front cover was covered with this green fabric. This is some fabric from my sister's, I think. And it was a scrap piece, but I really liked the green. So this was the front cover piece. And we're going to work on the, hopefully the front cover and finishing up this cover. I don't know what I want to decorate this front cover with. So we may go as far as folding over the edges, and then that'll be it for that one. I'm going to pause you for just a second and go clean this brush out because I'm not going to use it anymore. And if I don't clean it out, it won't. Okay. The other really nice thing about that glue is I just run it under my sink. As long as the glue is still wet, it just washes out of the brush with water. And I've even gotten it where it started to dry a little bit, and I can still like peel it out of there, pull it out. So it cleans up really easy. I'm just going to put that up there for now. Okay, now for this, I went and I started pulling it apart. It's done in signatures, and I'm going to rebuild this little book. I think I've got them all. Those two aren't separated. This back one looks like it's separated. It's still got a lot of the old glue. This little prayer book was from, it says copyright 1943. So it's got a, it's older. And the cover cracked, which is why I cut, it was cracked all the way over to here at an angle, which is why I cut this into a little card to go on the front of the book. And these are my cover pieces that I'm going to use. And I decided that I'm going to use this wallpaper right here. And what we're going to do, and what's nice is these cover pieces fit these little pockets. So now my little booklet is going to have these little, remember these pockets? I did these in an Ollie's haul. They're going to have these in there, and I can put prayer cards in them for prayers that aren't in the book. So I was really thrilled about that. Okay, now what we're going to do. Basically, I'm going to be able to get this one here like this. And I'm going to be able to get this. I'm going to be able to get two of these. I hope. Ooh, I just realized. We'll do it here because the one end I'm going to cut. Yeah, that'll work because that trades off. Okay. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to glue this down onto the wallpaper flat. So let's just use, I'm just going to use Fabri-Tac. And what's really nice about this is it's going to be the outside and the inside cover. So if this works the way I'm thinking in my head, I have not tried it. If this works the way I'm thinking in my head, we're going to completely surround this little piece of cardboard with this wallpaper. So let's hope this works. Okay, so we'll put it down here, and I'll leave myself a little bit of a lip to fold over. I still want to do the folding around it thing. So we'll put that one there. Okay. Turn it just a little bit. All right, and then we'll do this one on that side. How's everybody doing, by the way? I mean, I'm still doing the crazy schedule. And it's funny, last night I went to bed early, and today I could barely keep my eyes open. I couldn't stop yawning at Mass. I was like, it's crazy. Because I actually got to bed early so that I would, you know, let's say this. I was hoping that I got to bed early so I wouldn't be tired, but that's not exactly how it worked out. I don't know if I want to scrape a bone folder over this or not. Only because, well, first of all, I can't find it, so, oh, there it is. Sometimes this stuff tears. I don't think this will, though. If I thought it was going to tear, I don't guess I'd be using it as a book cover. That would be silly, wouldn't it? Okay. So we're going to turn this back over. All right, now, my thought is give myself enough to fold over for both of them. All right, great. Now, the idea would be I don't know if I should do this because it gets really bulky and this wallpaper is not what you'd call okay. Now down here what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it like this. And then like this, only because this is going to get folded up over this and then I'm going to trim it. So, although I should trim it, you know what? I'm done with the glue mat for the moment. So let's move this because I might use, this is all in my head right now that I'm doing this. So you're going to have to excuse me as my brain goes through like the 6,000 different ways I could do this. All right, so we're going to cut this corner like we normally would. All right, and that's going to pull up over that like that, right? See, there's a piece of me that wants to keep that every time because the more of it you keep, you can do a little bit of a fold over. And it'll help it stick. I said I was done with my glue mat, and then here I am gluing, so, you know, it's all good. Okay, now. All right, I'm gonna make sure that's on there good and tight. Okay, so far so good. I don't think there's any way for it to not be good yet. I just really want this to fold in. right there along. I'm just pinching down on the little spot that's sticking out, so that hopefully if it's flat with this piece, when I fold this side up, it'll fold down. But there's not a lot there. So I probably should have left a little more for what I'm trying to do, but we'll see how it goes. All right, and then I'm going to do this side. I'm going to cut in at an angle like I was doing before, and then I'm going to cut down right here. Because the idea here is going to be, I'm going to take this off just inside here. I'm just butting that up flush so that this sits as straight as possible. And then I'm just going to take this off of here. Okay. You know what? I forgot to leave do that. I'm trying to get my corners covered, and I think that one's going to be exposed if I'm not careful. Although, I think that might be a back corner, like where the spine is. And I still plan on doing like a cute little, some sort of spine. Maybe ribbon, maybe, I don't know, something to fold up on the spine. Okay. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to butt it right up against, like this. I'm going, sorry, I didn't tell you. What I'm doing, I'm butting this right up against just inside. I don't know if you can see that. I'm leaving a little bit of a lip. And I'm doing that so that this piece that I'm going to fold in here is slightly smaller than the cover it's folding onto. Oops. I keep thinking these cork back rulers are gonna like not slip, but they do. They slip. Oh, again, I need to give myself more stuff. Okay, now if I fold this over like this, see, it'll cover, and there'll be a little bit sticking out, which you'll be able to this will get covered up by that. Is this making sense? I feel like I'm stumbling over my words. I apologize. So I'm cutting this slightly inside this rectangle. Okay, so what I need to do now is figure out where I want to cut it. Let me get my pencil. I'll mark where the cover goes, and I'll cut a little bit inside that. So this is how far out it comes if I fold it to the cover. And then what we'll do is we'll put that mark and we'll cut just inside there. Yeah, yikes, I'm about to drip glue on my cover. Okay, so basically I'm going to do, again, I'm going to cut this just short of where it would be for the cover. Okay. And now we can fold up all of our pieces, and hopefully it will cover the whole thing. It'll be wrapped in the wallpaper. Okay, so it goes like that. Ooh, I hope my edge comes, I forgot about that being, I hope all that white gets covered up. We'll have to test it because I have some scrap in case it doesn't marry up somewhere, so I can. It's wanting to, I don't know. It's just bubbling a little bit, so I'm trying to work it until it sticks. Okay, and we'll probably have to work the other side too. Sorry, I know I went quiet there. I was trying to figure out what was going on. It's just making me work it down until the glue grabs a hold. So, like that. And then you have to work all the excess glue out, and you have to work the thing until it sticks. So anyway, yeah, that haul. I don't want to talk about it. I couldn't sit at, I know I got the bone folder out and messed with it with the wallpaper and hid it from myself again. I just couldn't sit and do computer work again. There are days where I get worn out sitting there, and I get up and I need something to do to fill the last bit of the day. And I end up at an Ollie's or over at Hobby Lobby, or something just to look, just to see what's there. And it happens. It doesn't help that all those places are like really close to where I am all day. All right. Yeah, this one I didn't get. I need a little bit of glue in there. This little piece right here also was too small. I mean, there's nothing here yet, so, I mean, technically, I can make the back edge, whichever edge I don't like whichever edge doesn't look the best. Does that make sense? The spine end. So, like, if I don't like the way this one looks, this is the side that pushed in, which is why it comes in further. But it looks like it's going to cover okay, so that's good. Try and do this as neat as possible without too much glue coming out, because it makes a mess. Whichever edge I don't like, though, is the one that I will turn toward the spine, where I will probably cover it with a little piece of ribbon or scrap fabric or, something to make a nice spine. So it'll get covered up. All right. So that would be the idea. And then you just close that over. I don't want a lot of glue coming out of here because it's really hard to clean off this wallpaper. But it doesn't come off of the wallpaper the same way it comes off of regular paper. So I don't want it to look all messy. Okay, and there you have a little wrapped piece of cardboard. Piece of chipboard. That will be my cover for my book. Okay, and so let's do the other one. It's already ready. We just have to do all of our folding and whatnot. I might leave a little more space to see if I can do this smush down thing I'm thinking of. It should work back here too. We'll have to see if we can make it work at the back as well. This one doesn't have as much to fold up, this side. So we'll have to see how that goes as well. Okay. All right, I'm going to try working these a little bit just so hopefully they're easier to fold when I get to the point where I'm folding them. So what kind of projects are you guys working on? Like I said, when I explained that the Pick a Project thing was back and that it was going to be a little different, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So this project isn't a specific journal. It's covers. We're working on covers. That's my project. That's what needs doing right now. So that's what I'm doing. So, yeah. I wonder if I can get any more of that off of there. Probably not right this minute. Okay. So, well, she stays after on, there's a couple of days a week, Mondays and Wednesdays, where she stays after. She's doing that. I see it on a lot of British shows. I didn't realize it was all that popular here. I mean, obviously, you do have, you know, guns and all that, but I didn't realize the clay pigeon thing. I see it on a lot of British TV shows. Like out at the manor house, they're having a clay pigeon shoot or something, and they're, you know, she's just not wanting to stick at all. Come on, you can do it. They have a clay pigeon shooting team, and my daughter joined it. So 2 days a week, we go to the range and she shoots clay pigeons. Like, they're big orange. They're like bright orange, like fluorescent orange, and they're made out of clay. And they shoot them out of this little, they call it a trap house, but they shoot them out of a little thing with they push a button and one fires into the air, and then you follow it with the shotgun and you shoot it out of the sky. And apparently, you know, there's competitions and the whole bit. So she's doing that. Like I said, I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm going to get my narrower. Okay, so we're going to squeeze. I don't know if you can see that. So I left more there. So there's a piece that overhangs on the end there and on this end. And what I'm going to do, we're going to see how well this works. I'm going to stick a little bit of glue underneath there in that little pocket where it sticks up. And I'm going to try and glue that flat so that when I go and fold this side, it'll fold with it. So we're just going to smush that down. It would probably work better with something other than wallpaper. This stuff is thick and it doesn't behave like paper. So it has a tendency to fight you when you're trying to, you know, fold it and make it do things that you want it to do. It doesn't necessarily want to cooperate. You know, like I said, it's flexible, but it's thicker. So get it to catch. Okay. And then that flattens that out, so when I fold this, that'll fold with it and hopefully make a clean corner. And a covered corner. That's the other thing, is we want our corners to be covered. I don't want the ugly chipboard sticking out. Alright, so let's get this one folded. So anyway, she does that on Mondays, and the first 2 days she got some lucky shots in, and I mean, she's never fired a shotgun before. She just, no, you know, any of that kind of thing. So she did, and she liked it. She said it was fun trying to shoot the things out of the sky. I guess kind of like a video game or something. I don't know. Anyway, so she, what do you call it? She has to be there between 5:30 and 6. Well, school lets out at 2:38, and I'm not driving all the way back home, even though that's a 3-hour gap. By the time I got home, we would be able to do something for an hour, and then we would have to turn around and get back on the road again, and it would be a massive waste of my gas. So we just stay. The first night we had to stay for it, there's an Olive Garden, so we ate at Olive Garden. And then you know, we just pick a restaurant. That's where we end up having dinner. Today's Tuesday that I'm filming this. I think you're going to see it Friday, but I don't know, you know, how well it's going to go as far as me getting these videos up when I want to. But anyway, it's Tuesday, and Monday, yesterday, we ate at Taco Bell. She wanted tacos, so we ate at Taco Bell. She ate at Taco Bell. I kind of ate at Taco Bell. I think I had 2 tacos. I didn't want any tacos. Okay. Okay, again, we're going to cut just inside. I did leave a little bit on these too. Oh, I left more on that one. I think some glue seeped out there, so I just glued that down. Well, hopefully that'll work. Okay. Again, we're going to go just inside. Push this up against the cardboard. This straight edge against that straight edge, hopefully this cut is relatively straight. Okay. Just going to pull it off of there. Got all these little wallpaper strips now. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Alright, and then we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to butt this up against here, flat, and cut this piece off. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing. So what I did last time was I turned this in. Oh, that one's horrid. Yeah, this one didn't get enough. Oh, that's awful. Okay, we know which side is going to be the spine on this one. Oh, that's awful. Okay, anyway, sorry. So, we're going we're going just inside. I already cut that. Why is that not? Oh, this one too. There's too much out there. Maybe that's what the problem is. Alright, it doesn't matter. Those are probably going to end up being my spine sides anyway. Okay, so we're going to fold this over. Alright, if I ever perfect this method, I'll come on and show you guys. Like I said, this was in my head, and now I'm doing it. And sometimes things in your head don't translate as well as you thought they would. I think this will work. I think I just have to practice getting the corners and everything situated. So that's going to go over like that. I'm going to put a line here. And we're going to do it just inside. So let's cut that off there. I've cluttered my thing. Remember what I used to do downstairs? I told you guys I used to clutter the top of my thing, and then I would slowly push myself down off my table. Apparently, it doesn't matter if I'm sitting or standing. I will still do that. Okay, let's get this one down. All right. Wow. Finagling this little wallpaper cover took me some time. Alright. Sorry, I know. So anyway, so she's doing the clay pigeon shoot thing. And, I mean, she just wanted to try it, see what it was like. She had fun with it, or she's having fun with it, so. Yeah. She's also, they had, it's the beginning of the year, so they had all the club joining and stuff going on. And today, the day I'm filming this, was picture day, so, you know, we did all of that. All right, so I think what's going to end up happening is the edges that I folded around, so like back here, these edges where I folded the piece around to the front, that's probably going to be my, what do you call them? My spines. Okay, so it'll go like that. Or like that. Oh, maybe like that. Okay. And then this is supposed to go on here. But I cut a piece of paper to go on with it. So it will go like this. And I'm wondering if I should cut that a little smaller. I think I'm going to cut some off the bottom. It'd be really nice to be able to, you know, carry my prayer book with me again. It's weird. I found it in an antique store. Then I misplaced it in my room amongst all my stuff. And then I finally found it again, and I was taking it to Mass with me because I go to church when after I drop Monica off because, you know, it's daily Mass and it's time, and like, well, why not? I got a whole day to kill before I pick her up again, and so that's what I do. And we do prayers and all that, and I take this with me and I say morning prayers with it. With God, all things are possible is what's written all over here. Okay. So what do we think? Cute, right? Now, the only thing I'm worried about is making it stay and not having any, you know, like things stick up and all that sort of thing. But, and then for the back, I have this to go on the back cover. Although I suppose I could just leave the wallpaper. Maybe I could center the cross more and then have it smaller. Let's take this off. I know, I said we were going to work on the poetry book. And we are. I just really, really want to get this done. Because I've been wanting to take it back to Mass with me, and I can't take it like it is. I'm afraid it'll get all torn up. And it's got a lot of work that needs doing to it. Because my plan is to, these are old, I don't know if any of you have ever, maybe if you have never opened a religious book, I don't know what other kind of books do this, but it's this really thin, I mean, you're talking thinner than copy paper paper. It's not tissue paper, but it's pretty thin. And I would be really worried about it getting messed up if it didn't have some sort of a cover or something on it. Okay, so we're probably going to do that. And I'll need to get ink. But because they're so thin and it's so old, I was thinking, and just to add some decoration and, you know, pretty it up some, I'm thinking it's going to need, the pages, the leaves, once I open them, are going to need reinforcement because they're sewn together with a straight stitch. And I'm afraid that's too many holes. And once I take this out of here, it's going to be, the signature is sewn together with a straight stitch, and then the whole thing is sewn together apparently. Oh, yeah, and I tore it right there. Okay, so my thought was, before I sew them into the book or onto a spine or however I'm going to do this, because I don't actually know yet, I would put some washi tape, kind of decorate up the middle, which is going to take me a while, which I will not do on camera. You guys are like, thank God. Literally. But anyway, so that's where we are on that one. Let me get, let's get this, and we're going to do, oh, these don't cut fabric. Where's my, these should cut it. They're still relatively, yeah, there we go. I know that cuts into the stitching and all that, but hopefully, since I'm going to be gluing it down, it won't hurt it. Same thing with the pocket. I mean, it opens the pocket up back there. But again, I'm going to be gluing it down in here, so hopefully that won't matter. Okay. And basically, I'm just going to use Fabri-Tac, and we're going to glue this stuff in here. Now, it doesn't really matter what it looks like in here. I mean, normally we cover it with something anyway, so it doesn't ever usually matter. But the way this went together, this gets glued to that outer. I'm going to put a. It gets glued to the outer cover, or the outer part of that signature, whatever. Okay, so it's going to get glued down. Let's make sure everything catches and everything's down. It's all good. All right, and all right. Let's do the other side. So, do you guys have, you know, projects like this where it's come to a stage where you're either stumped or you know what you want to do, but you A, don't have the materials, or B, haven't had the time to go through the process of whatever it is that you want to do, or anything like that, where you're just at a spot in your cover or whatever where you have to do something. Not your cover, your project, whatever your project is. Okay. Because I get these projects like this. I mean, you remember that I made a comment about it earlier in one of my other videos, I think, about in the haul video. Because you saw I found another one of those Victorian style family photo album things. And I haven't finished the one that I started with you guys. But I found one and I was like, oh, I gotta have it. Because, you know, that's just the way. Now, the thing with this one is, the way this is going down on these books, so these corners are going to show, because the way this goes down on here, the spine fabric's already on, and then this glue's on top. So you got to try and get all your corners to be neat, because you aren't going to be able to hide any of them. Not for this particular kind of cover. Unless you wanted to put like a book corner or something on them. You could do that. Some sort of metal something. See, like I have that one there that's going to stick out and be obnoxious. I wonder if I could get it to stick in here. I don't know. It's going to take me a second. So, we'll just do both ends because I think I'm going to need it on both ends. So yeah, so I have that project. I've got the little storybooks that I did. And these were all back from the original Picker projects. As a matter of fact, the last Picker project before I went on hiatus and shut everything down was the little storybooks. And then you saw me here recently when I started it back up. I took them apart and were redoing them because they were in abysmal shape. And when I looked at them again after being on my hiatus, I was like, this is not acceptable. You're not, this is, no. So I had to take them apart and redo them. So yeah, these projects get set along the wayside, and I feel like, you know, life just kind of gets in the way, at least for me. It's not a full-time job. So I don't set aside necessarily hours every day to come into my craft room, which is awful because I would love to be able to do that, but I'd love to be able to just sit here all day and not do anything else. But especially on these school days, the school days where I don't have to stay late, and we get home at about 3:30. She gets out at 2:38. We get home at about 3:30-ish. I immediately came in and started working on the kitchen and dinner so that we could eat dinner at a decent hour, and then, oh my goodness. We could eat dinner at a decent hour, and then I could come up here and play around in my craft room. All right, so that's how that's going to glue on there. Now, what I want to do is look at what's going to get covered up. So, oh, I have to untie it. That's basically how that's going to get glued on there. And you can make it stick out on the front as far as you want. And if I flip this over and I look at the other side and I see that some of my mess is showing, then I will cover it and then glue it down. I'm not going to open it right now, though. Oh, guys. Okay, now. Oh, we have little pieces and bits that we can use. All right, here is my topper. Oh, and all my extra doodads. Okay. This is my topper. Isn't it cute? I'm so excited. All right, I got to get ink because we can't put that down there without putting ink on it. Anybody voting for anything in particular? I mean, I'm half tempted to do red, but then I'm half tempted to not and just do vintage photo. Sorry if I'm getting all in the screen. All right, so we're going to ink the edge of this. And then I wanted to glue the lace kind of in an odd pattern around the bottom corner. And I was going to do it with hot glue, but my hot glue gun isn't on. So, although the one I was going to turn on, I charged overnight. So I'm going to get up and go get it. And then turn it on and see if we can use it. Okay, that's a little better. Now, let's put that out of the way. Now my idea here was to stick the lace up underneath here like this. So it would go under the little fabric thing. And then it was going to come down under the topper and glue around like that. Okay? So, let me get my hot glue. Alright, see I got this little cordless jobby. And my daughter just gave me a whole bag of glue sticks. Alright, So we got those. So the idea would be to stick it under there like that, and then we'll kind of finagle it. Once I get it stuck down, I don't want to stick anything on here. Okay. So we did this on camera. We did toppers for one of our scraps things. Pretty sure it was scraps. Okay, so basically, I'm going to go under there like that. Alright, and now that it's stuck down, we can flip it over. And basically, I'm going to go around here, and I might scrunch it some. So we're going to put it on like that, and then we're just going to scrunch it in the glue some. It doesn't have to be a lot. I mean, it's already kind of ruffled. I'm not necessarily looking for a lot of scrunching. Let me see how that looks around the side. Okay. The question, of course, is how far up did I want to bring it, and did I want to get it on top at all? Or if I just wanted it to go underneath. So let's cross across here. I think I'm running out of glue. So we're going to go across this little corner. Okay. And I'm thinking of going back some, so like it looks like it's following the edge of the thing. Don't ask me why I go off to the weird sides of my table that I go off to, because I can't answer your question. Okay. Now that I've got it on there, the question is, I wonder if I should come up right along the edge so it's just peeking. Like that. I don't know if I want to go around the whole thing. All right, what if I cut it off right here? And then we bring it up right here and kind of go under the button. Well, I'm not going to be able to go under, but you know what I mean. Let's get that out of the way. Get out of the way. All right, now I want to scrunch it up into that hot glue under there. I don't think I'm going to be able to sniff that. I don't want that little, oops, deck on it. I nicked the button. Probably quit while I'm ahead. It's okay for it to have a little tatter piece. Alright, and then I'm going to glue it right along here. Just so that it stays put. Alright, and then it goes down on here. Guys, I am loving how this is turning out. I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay. I didn't put any glue under here. You think I should? I'm always worried about stuff like coming off. Okay. So like that. I heard my daughter come out of her room. She's probably going to try and come over here. Ooh, maybe she'll just go straight downstairs to the boys. Her brothers. Alright, I think that's about it. I don't know that I'll keep it any longer just because this was very... I want to get all my edges glued down. I do not want them sticking up. So I'm going to go around here really good, and it's probably going to make an awful mess. I should probably put hot glue. Let's get all this on, and then I think I'm going to put hot glue on the lace. Assuming my glue gun doesn't shut off because it's battery powered, and it has a tendency to do that if it doesn't like how long I've... Alright, we're ready. Down she goes. Alright, guys. We've got some back here that wants to be... This is what I was worried about. I don't know how easy it is to get it off of, like, fabric once it's on there. Probably the best thing is to pat it. Stick it and pat it, and then let it dry on the fabric, and hopefully it'll dry. Ooh. See, not like that. See, I keep saying dry it, let it, pat it and let it dry, and then here I am messing with it. Okay. All right. Guys, I love it. I love how it turned out. Okay, and that's going to be our front cover. So it'll go on the book like so. And then you've got this lovely tie. And I have a few more bits and bobs to put in it, a couple more tags. One of these will get decorated up and stuck in this pocket back here. So it would go in like that. And it'll probably get like a cool edge or something on it. And then the rest of these, I have extras for the book in case there's some pockets I missed. So that's where the Apple Orchard journal is. This other journal, just so you can get an idea of what this is going to look like, you're going to get... It's going to be on there like that. Actually, these are going to stick out a little further. So it's going to come over like that. And you'll be able to see that little ruffle out the side. And that's what that'll look like. And then I'll decorate up the front. I was thinking of putting this on as a base. I'm not 100%, which is why I didn't glue that down. So I just have to wait and see. But that's our little cover boards for this. And these are moving right along, guys. And then I've got the prayer book. And that's our pick a project video for this week. Hopefully I'll be able to get these out on a more regular basis. And like I said, the projects will be random, from working on a specific journal to working on covers for 3 journals to, you know, whatever I happen to be needing to futz with at the time that I decide to film one of these videos. So I hope that it helps you with your projects. If you've got any sitting around, pull one out and sit with me for a little while, and we'll work on old projects together. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.